Hi everyone, welcome to Javatechie. As many of you know that Apache Kafka stands out as an open source distributed streaming platform. In our previous tutorial, we explored various mechanisms of Kafka, right? However, did you know that there is another robust distributed messaging system available in the market, even though it is completely open source and in some cases it is better than Kafka? No worries, if this is new to you, I am here to guide you through it. So in this tutorial, we'll understand about Apache Pulsar, how it is different from Kafka, and we'll do hands-on example using Spring Boot and Apache Pulsar. Okay, alright. So without any further delay, let's get started. So let's start with what is Apache Pulsar. Apache Pulsar is an open source distributed PubSub messaging platform. It was originally created at Yahoo and later it contributed to the Apache Software Foundation. It is mainly designed to handle high throughput, event streaming and messaging activity. So if you think carefully, this is similar like our Kafka, right? Both Apache Pulsar and Apache Kafka are popular distributed messaging system used for building real-time streaming data pipeline and application, but they have several differences in terms of architecture, their features and design principle. So let's try to find out some key difference between these Apache Pulsar and Apache Kafka. Okay, so let's discuss about its architecture, message retention, multi-tenancy nature, scaling capability and schema registry and tied storage. Okay, so let's begin with the architecture. So as you know, Apache Kafka is based on a distributed commit log architecture. It uses simple set of primitives like topic, partition, consumer group, where producer write the message to the topic, which are then distributed across multiple partitions, and consumer can read message from these partitions in parallel. However, in Apache Pulsar, it designed based on the PubSub architecture. It uses the concept of topics and subscriptions. Producer publish message to the topic and consumers subscribe to these topics to retrieve those messages. And apart from that, the main advantages of Pulsar, it supports multi-topic subscription where a single consumer can subscribe the messages from multiple topics. That feature is not there in Apache Kafka. Okay, so architecture wise, this is what the key difference. Now, message retention. So if you think about Kafka, Kafka apply the retention setting for topic label, but in the Apache Pulsar, you can find the support for different retention policy at the individual partition level. However, in Kafka also you can achieve that, but it requires some additional configuration. Now let's move to the next pillar, that is multi-tenancy. Apache Pulsar is designed with multi-tenancy nature so that it can allow different organization or application to share the same Pulsar cluster. However, Kafka traditionally lacks native support of this multi-tenancy, but still it can also be run in multi-tenant environment. It requires typical more manual configuration in Kafka. Now let's move to the next one about the scaling activity. Both Apache Pulsar and Apache Kafka, we can do the horizontal scaling. We can add more brokers to the cluster, but Pulsar has built-in support for dynamic partitioning, meaning it can automatically scale the number of partitions for a topic based on the workload. So there are few things you need to take into the consideration before designing your application. What nature you are going to implement, or what all things you need to take care before design your application. Based on that, you need to choose whether to go for Apache Pulsar or Apache Kafka. Okay, so Apache Pulsar is not that much popular, but it contains lot of advanced features than Apache Kafka. Like schema registry, Kafka does not have direct support of schema registry where you need to rely on some third party like Abro schema, but in case of Apache Pulsar, it supports the schema registry so that the evolution of schema you can easily identify. Okay, so these are the key difference between Apache Pulsar and Apache Kafka. And coming to the storage architecture of these two, Apache Pulsar maintains storage to store the messages to achieve the more durability based on the message size and age, where Apache Kafka having the single storage, that is your broker, who deals with the routing the messages to the consumer and storing it in the disk. So you will get to know more about this particular architecture, storage architecture, once we'll try implementing that in our upcoming session. Okay, but in today's video we are going to do a hands-on example using Spring Boot and Apache Pulsar. So let's take a look at high level overview of this Apache Pulsar architecture. How does it works, what all components it contains to process the PubSub mechanism. Okay, so if you'll go to the official page of Apache Pulsar, pulsar.apache.org, you can find all the detailed information what exactly this Apache Pulsar and its key features. And if you'll scroll down, you can find how does Pulsar work. Okay, so if you see this particular architecture, it similarly looks like the Kafka. The way Kafka produce the message and consume it, the architecture is completely similar, but there are difference in the storage architecture. Okay, so as you know, producer produces the message to a topic, and this broker are the core component of the Pulsar architecture. They handle the storage and serving of the messages. Here each broker is responsible for a subset of topic and their partitions. These brokers receive the messages from producer, acknowledge the receipt, and temporarily store it in the broker itself. Okay, now you can see there is a component called bookkeeper. So this bookkeeper is the storage system used by Pulsar for durable message storage based on the message size and age. So it provides low latency storage, and this bookkeeper ensures that the messages are durable, store across multiple nodes to prevent the data loss. Okay, now you can see there is a consumer. So once producer publish the message to the topic, broker keep a one single clone copy of that messages and then forward it to the bookkeeper to store it for the retention policy what you have mentioned. Then there is a consumer who subscribe to that particular topic to listen the messages. Okay, now once consumer consume the events or messages, immediately he will send the message acknowledgement to the broker saying that hey, I received your messages. So these message acknowledgement from the producer and consumer directly not available in Kafka. You need to manually configure the acknowledgement or callback and acknowledgement in Kafka, but in Apache Pulsar it is by default available. Okay, so this is what at high level architecture of Apache Pulsar. We are going to design a producer application and consumer application, and we'll start the Apache Pulsar and we'll see how it behaves. Cool. Now let me open my IntelliJ IDEA. We'll create a project from scratch, then we'll demonstrate this particular architecture. Let's open it. Then I'll create a new project from the scratch. Click next. Just define all the required field. Then just add all the required dependency. I'm adding Lombok. Then I will just add web dependency. Then if you will observe here, I'll type Apache Pulsar. Can you see here? There are two dependency available. One for the traditional implementation, one for the reactive programming. So I'll just use the first one. That's it. We are using the latest version of Spring Boot. Click next, then finish. Once it imports successfully, now we can play with the Apache Pulsar. But to start playing with the Apache Pulsar, either you download its distribution file and start it manually, otherwise you can run Apache Pulsar using Docker container. So in this example, I will run the Apache Pulsar using Docker container. So for that, let me define a file called docker-compose.yml. Then I will just define Apache Pulsar specific configuration and its manager specific configuration so that I can visualize this in the Apache Pulsar user interface. So what I'll do, I'll just create a file. Now just add the required configuration. So if you observe here, we have defined the service called Pulsar and we are fetching this particular image from the Docker Hub. This is the image of Apache Pulsar version 2.10.1 and we define the command to start the Pulsar in the standalone mode, and this is what the port of the Apache Pulsar, and here we have defined the Pulsar manager, and this is what the Docker image of it, and this is what the default port. Okay, so this particular Pulsar manager will help us to visualize the activity running on the Apache Pulsar. Fine. Now I will start this particular Docker compose file. Go to the project, go to the terminal, then I will type docker up in the daemon mode. Run it. It will take couple of minutes because it will download the images, then it will start those server. Okay, so let's wait it to complete. Yeah, can you see here? It is trying to pull the images and it will download the images. So you can see here, right? It started two container. One is Apache Pulsar itself and another is its manager. Fine. To validate that whether it is started the manager, you can trigger this particular endpoint. Go to the browser and simply type the image 95. Just type the URL http 127.0.0.192. What is the port? 929527, right? Just copy this. Can you see here? This is the dashboard. Now once, if you are doing it first time, you don't have username and password with you, so manually you need to update the username and password. So I have a command. I'll share this in the GitHub itself. You just copy this particular command and open your terminal. Just trigger this particular curl expression. So here if you observe, I'm getting this error. Super user role is exist because already I ran this command. Okay, so if you'll run it first time, it will be succeeded for you. Now you can use this as a password and this as your username. So let me copy this. Username is admin and password is Apache Pulsar without any space. All are in the lowercase. Just go here. Username is admin, password is Apache Pulsar. You can see here, right? Let me zoom this for you. Fine. Now I'll just click on login. I can able to see the page. Now the first step, you need to create the environment. So this step is very simple. Click on this new environment. Then give your name of your environment. You can give anything. I will give Spring. You can give any name. Now you just need to define the service URL of your Apache Pulsar. So I'll define http Pulsar 8080. That is what the container port, right? Click on confirm. Successfully add an environment. Just close it. Now just open this environment. You can see your cluster, namespace, topics, token, everything. Okay, so if you'll go to the topics, you won't find anything because you have not created any. And this is the cluster, tenants, namespace. This will help you for the multi-tenant application. namespace, topics, all the key you can see here, right? Now we are set with our Apache Pulsar environment. Now let's start implementing the producer and consumer to perform the PubSub mechanism. So just go to your IntelliJ IDEA, then just minimize this. Now let me create couple of packages: producer, consumer. You can create two different applications for producer and consumer. I'm just defining here only. Okay, so I'm defining both producer and consumer as part of the same application for the quick demo. I will also create a package called controller. Fine. Now I just need to create a producer class. Let's say event publisher. So just annotate this with @service. Fine. Now to communicate from your application to Apache Pulsar, you need a template. The way we have Kafka template, similarly we need one template to play with the Apache Pulsar from our application. So for that, there is a template given by Pulsar that is private. I mean, just define that template, Pulsar template. It's type generic, define object. Just auto edit. Now since you have the template, using template you can send events to a specific topic of this Pulsar. So let's define a method to publish the messages. String messages. Then you can use template dot. See here you can find multiple overloaded method. Send method, send async method. Okay, so let's go with the synchronous for now. Since this is the first demo, just open this, give the topic name and what messages you want to send, the input which I will give. Okay, just handle the exception or just delegate it. Now also I will just add a log statement to just track the messages. Log dot info. I'll just add some string, event publisher, class name, and this is what the method name. Publish the event. What is that event? Your messages. Okay, fine. Now I just need to define the topic name. So let me define here something like Javatechie hyphen topic, or let me sort it Jetty topic. Okay, Jetty plain topic, and this is what the messages. Now we are done with the publisher. So let me write a controller class who can publish the event. I mean, we can simply call these messages, I mean this particular method, and we can dynamically pass the value. So just define a controller. This is a quick step. Define here @REST controller. Define request mapping. Define the URL slash produce or producer. Then I will just inject the publisher here, private event publisher. Just define auto add. Then I will write a endpoint public some return type string. Okay, send text message or text event, and I want that message I will pass in dynamic. So I will just define @path variable, and I will define the endpoint here, get mapping producer text. This is the message. Now simply I will call publisher dot publish plain messages. I'll define message. Just handle or just throw it for now. See the reason I have defined here publish plain message. I just want to demonstrate using the string and custom object. Okay, so that is the reason I have defined the method name as a plain. You can define method accordingly your need. Now I'll just return some string value. So we are good with the producer. Now let's define the consumer class. Just annotate here @service. Also I want logger sl4j. Then I'll just write a method public void consume text event, something like that. Okay, so I define the method name so that we can easily understand, okay, this will accept the plain string type messages and other method will accept the custom object. So that is how I have defined. So just change it here. Consume text event of type string message. Correct. Now here what you need to do, in other framework like Kafka or Redis, we have specific annotation called listener, right? Similarly, there is an annotation from the Pulsar, that is Pulsar listener, and inside this annotation you have multiple options to define. The first step, you need to tell from which topic you want to listen the messages. Okay, you just need to define the topic name. What is the topic name we are producing the messages? This one. Just copy it and paste it here. Now what is your subscription name? We understand, right? Consumer must need to subscribe to that particular topic. So what is the subscription name we are using? I am using the subscription name as a simple my subscription. Okay, let me copy this. Now which type of subscription you want to use? Subscription type. This is a enum. It contains multiple subscription type. Let me show you that. You can see here, right? Subscription type dot. Okay, let me add first. I'll use shared one. So if you observe, the subscription type contains multiple value: exclusive, shared, failover, key shared. The purpose of each subscription type is different. I will cover subscription type in my upcoming class. So for now, let's use the shared because we just want to play with the producer and consumer. So I have defined the default one. Just define the shared. Okay. Now I'll just add a log statement, log dot info. So just define a string. Event consumer is the class name. This is the method name. Consumed events, something like that. Okay, just give some meaningful messages which you can understand. And what is the event it received? Message. That's it, right? So we have defined the producer who can publish message to this topic, and we have defined the consumer who can consume from this topic with subscription. Now we have defined everything. We write the code correctly, but we have not specified, we didn't tell to our Spring Boot application where is my producer running, what is the subscription, what is the topic name, and where my consumer needs to look up, right? All these things you need to define in your configuration. So for that, I will simply create one YML file. You can also define an application.properties file, but I feel better writing the YML file because it maintains the hierarchy. Okay, so application.yml. First let me define the change the port first. Server port, I'll define 9191. Fine. Then you can define spring.pulsar, then define Pulsar client and its service URL. You can see here this is the default one. Okay, so Pulsar localhost, the port is 6650. So that is what we have defined in our compose file. So if you see here, we have defined the port, right? 6650. That is what my Pulsar broker URL. I have just defined that service URL. Now you just need to define what is your topic name. What is the topic name we have defined? Let me copy it from here, and I will define it in the configuration file rather than hard code in the code. This is what the topic name. Now you need to tell what is the consumer, what is the subscription of it. The name of the subscription we have defined this one, right? My subscription. We are telling that this is what the service URL of my Pulsar. This is what the topic name my producer will publish the messages, and this is what the subscription who will subscribe to this particular topic as a consumer. This is the simple set of configuration we have defined. Now we can fetch this particular topic directly in the code rather than hard code. So I will just go to the publisher, then I'll define a field here, private string, just define @value, then just define the key, that is spring.pulsar.producer topic name. Now I can define this as a topic name. Same I will do in my consumer. Just copy this, just go to the consumer and just replace the pattern to read it from your properties file. That's it. Similarly you can also do for the subscription. All good. Now let me run the application. We'll publish the messages and we'll validate in the Pulsar Manager UI. I mean, we can validate from the log as well. You can see this is the publisher log, this is the consumer log you can find in your console. So just go to the main class, just annotate here one thing, @enable Pulsar. This is optional. Okay, if you will not add this, still your application will run. All good. Let's start the app. So you can see here it started successfully, and if you observe here, this is what the topic name and this is what my subscription, I mean my consumer or my subscriber. Subscribe to topic on this, consumer is 0 because we have not received any messages. This is the port. Now go to the browser, type here. Okay, let me refresh this page first. Can you see the topic name? Jetty plain topic. Now you can just type here http localhost 9191, then producer/text some messages, right? I'll add welcome and I will send the request. Message published. Now if you go and check in your console, can you see here? This is from your producer. Class name, method name, publish the event, welcome. This is what your consumer. Consume the event, welcome. Okay, let me add few more messages. 1, 2, some random value I'm giving. Okay, some my name, Javatechie. Now if you check in your console, you receive, we publish these messages, we received it. Publish this, received it. Consume, throughput, received. You can see the log. This is what the latency. All the things will be captured here as a matrix. Now go here and check your topic. This is the throughput. Average message size is this, and this is what your subscription. Okay, and subscription type we are using shared. This is what the consumer throughput. And if we'll open the storages, the total number of messages we have published 6. and storage size is 316 bytes. This is what the segment. This segment you will find inside the bookkeeper ledger ID. This ledger will be segmented in your bookkeeper. Okay, that you will come to know in upcoming class. And I'm not aware about this cursor, but you can see here, right? The number of messages. See, currently one segment, which is nothing, your ledger ID, that is 42, and the total storage size is 316 bytes. Currently it occupied. Now let me send couple of messages. 1 2 3 random string. We published 3 more messages. Now let me refresh this. 9 messages and storage occupied 477 bytes. If you publish bulk messages, you can find multiple segment with multiple ledger in your bookkeeper as a individual bookie. Fine. So if you'll go back, management not here. This is what your default topic. Now the topic which we created, it does not contains a partition. I mean, it's a single partition topic, but you have option to do that from the code. But if you want, you can create a topic here. Let's say some topic, test topic, and you can define number of partition 6 9 based on your need. Okay, so let's say 2, and see here you have option which kind of topic you want to create, persistent and non-persistent. Persistent means the messages in the topic will be stored for long term. For non-persistent, it will not even store in your disk. Okay, so based on your need, you can define what is the topic, partitions, and type of topic you want to create. So let's cancel it for now, or just create it, let it be. You can see the another topic with the partition count 2. Fine. So currently we play with the plain string messages. Now what if I want to publish a object? I want to publish a customer object or user object or a bulk payload in the JSON form. How I can do that? What things, type mapping, or what consumer things I need to change? I will show you right away. So what you need to do? Let me stop it for now. Then I'll just define another method in the producer and consumer to play with the custom object. So just go to the producer. Okay, so here I'll just copy this method. I'll just define publish raw messages. This is not string. I want to create one DTO. I want to send that object, so I'll create a DTO package. Then I'll create a class. Let's define few field. Just define the Lombok annotation. So I want to send the customer object here, but we need to change the topic name. So this topic what we have defined will be for your string messages. So simple thing, what I will do, I'll just define another topic. Topic name 1 is this. I will define another topic. Topic name 2 is, let's say, Javatechie custom topic or Javatechie raw topic. Okay, now I'll just change the expression to load the properties in publisher and consumer. So this is 1. So I'll just name a topic name 1. I'll define another topic saying topic 2 will load the value of my topic 2. So same thing I will also do. I also need to change in my consumer. Okay, this is the customer object. So better let me just print customer dot get name. Fine. Change the log statement. Publish the event this. Okay. Now similarly just do the change in your consumer. So I'll write another method. So this will point to topic 2, this will point to topic 1. I will also change the method name raw event. This is of type customer. I will simply print it new object mapper dot write value as a string and print the object, that is customer. All good. Now here which type of object we are sending? Custom object in the form of JSON, right? So you also need to define your what is the schema type you are using, that is JSON. All good. So we have defined producer and consumer. Now quickly define another endpoint to publish the customer object. I will just copy this method of type customer. Then it need to be annotated at the request body. Just define raw, and we need to call the another method, right? Publish raw messages, that is customer. Just define raw message or custom object. Let's cross validate it. Okay, we have defined two different topic, and then we have set everything in the consumer. We just added this. Okay, all good. But in YML also you need to tell, right, which type of schema mapping you are doing. That information also you need to specify in the consumer. Whenever you are playing with the string, nothing required. But if you are playing with the custom object, then you just need to define the type mapping in your consumer. So define that default type mappings. What is the message type? We are sending com.javatechie.dto.customer. This is what my object I want to send. You can define multiple objects. Okay, then you need to define schema info, which is nothing, schema type JSON. All set. We are telling to the consumer if string well and good. If someone is sending custom object, the object will be of type this and in the form of JSON. Now let me restart the app. So you can see here, right, Jetty plain topic, which is the old one, and this is Jetty raw topic. Okay, and I supposed to define 2 subscription, but it's fine. One subscription is also fine. One subscription can talk to multiple topic. That is what the advantages we understand in the Apache Pulsar, and here it is the example. And one thing you need to notice, so whenever you will start your app, this will fail with some error. Common util netty DNS resolve util, you can ignore it. It's because of the dependency conflict. You can ignore it. If you can see your topic and its subscription information in your log, you are good to play with the Pulsar. Okay, let me clear this. Now let me copy this particular URL. First let me show you the topic whether it created or not. It created, right, with 0 partition, no data is there. What I'll do, I'll just go to the postman. I'll define, let's say, what is that, producer, then body is in the form of JSON, ID name. Let me send the request. Okay, my bad, I supposed to change this annotation to controller. This should be post mapping, right? Just restart it quickly, clear this, go back to postman, retrigger the request, custom object published. I'll do 102 Santosh, sending couple of requests. Okay, I published 4 messages. Now let's validate first in our log. Event publisher publish the messages with the name Basan and consumer receive the payload because we are just doing object mapper write value as a string, so we can able to see the entire object. Santosh, this is the value. Shruti, value. Asik, this is the value. And the throughput and all the metrics you can find here. There is 0 failed messages. Okay, all the things you will find here. Now if you will validate that, if you go to the raw topic, this is what the rate, throughput, average message size. If you go and check in the storage, there are total 4 entries is nothing, your event, and segment is 1 because this is the default we are using, and 296 bytes. Okay, so let's see whether this is working or not. PQR, this will send to the plain topic, right? So I'll go to the topic, plain topic, storage. You can first validate in the log. You are able to see, right? PQR. Then earlier it was 9, we just send one more 10, 528 bytes, segment is 1. Okay, so we are good with the producer and consumer using Apache Pulsar, and as per the architecture we understand producer, consumer, topic, subscription and message acknowledge, but we have not covered this bookkeeper storage internal, right? So I'll plan for another session to cover or do the postmortem of this particular bookkeeper, how the messages are getting stored in a segment. Okay, so you can go through this particular Pulsar playlist, I mean this particular page, and you can try reading all its documents to know more about it. Okay, so this is how we can play with the Apache Pulsar. Do let me know in a comment section if you guys have any doubts. That's all about this particular video, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Meet you soon with a new concept.